You will hear 5 short extracts in which students are talking about their favourite teacher. For questions 1 to 5, choose from the list, A to H, what each student says. Use the letters only once. There are 3 extra letters which you do not need to use. Speaker 1.
Well, I don't think I was exactly the best student. I mean, I got on with everyone, including the teachers. It's just that I let myself down a bit and I could have done much better. I certainly could have avoided having to repeat my exams. Anyway, the best teacher I had taught science. He was actually a bit awkward and found it hard to make eye contact. Even so, if I had a problem, I knew I could always go to him and he'd greet me with a friendly face. He never got angry and would help me sort it all out. Looking back, he was pretty tolerant with me.
Speaker 2.
Mrs. Jones was amazing. I can still see her walking down the corridor with her flowing hair, sparkling eyes and cheerful look on her face. A real presence. Don't be fooled though, this woman didn't let anyone get away with anything. I mean, everyone did their homework and no one was late. Most people weren't keen on her as a result. I don't know why I thought differently. I guess it was because I really believed she did it to get the best out of us. Don't get me wrong, she wasn't someone who understood failure or who would sit and listen to what was on your mind. It actually made me stronger though, and I certainly looked up to her as a strong woman.
Speaker 3.
What was his name? Oh yeah, Mr. Elliot. It was years ago now, but I still think of him fondly. He was much more of an expert than a teacher and was quite reserved. Although he didn't jump around the room with endless energy, his knowledge of geography was incredible. He just never ran out of space in his brain for interesting facts and figures about his subject. When you asked him a question, his expressionless face would come out with the answer within seconds. We checked everything he told us in the first term. All factually correct. That was his genius. If you were into the subject, like me, it was fantastic. Not so much if you weren't.
Speaker 4.
I used to draw all the time in class as the teacher was talking. Lots of teachers didn't like doodling because they thought I wasn't listening, and this often got me into trouble. I even got sent to the head once. So when Mrs. Williams saw me doing some cartoons, I expected a bad reaction. In fact, she just went on about how talented I was and how she would love to be able to draw like that. That's why I loved her classes. Her energy and positivity were infectious. She approached everything with the same level of interest, and that made you get into it too.
Speaker 5.
It's interesting because since I became a teacher, I've been analysing how my teachers used to be when I was at school a lot more. I was always a fan of my form teacher. I honestly can't remember his name now, which is terrible, but yeah, he was brilliant. Perhaps he didn't look that approachable because he often looked like he was frowning. But actually, if you were good to him, he was good to you. Most teachers I had known loved the authority and could be mean if you didn't obey them. He wasn't like that at all. I think I've tried to behave the same way in my classes and it's working out well so far.